Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel for my second episode on how planes land from the cruising altitude. For those who are new in my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Now here we have an autopilot background. This will help us to know what happens at the cruise altitude. The pilots have taken off as I showed in my previous video. And we have the heading altimeter. It shows 337. That means it's going to control how the plane turns, the heading of the plane. According to the runway, according to the navigation system, they're going to follow a pink route and they're going to set the heading. They want the plane to turn right, they'll set heading to the right. And this is their bank limit, which will matter of their bank limit. If they're going to have a bank limit of 25 degrees, it's going to be that. As long as the flight route is gone. Vertical speed. Vertical speed determines the speed the plane is going to be while it's climbing and descending. Vertical speed. So they're going to set it from down and up. Now this is just the autopilot setup. It has a lot more cooperatives in it. We'll talk about it in later videos. Now this is the altitude setup. That's where they're going to set the cruise. This is the autopilot engaged. So when they take off, when they reach an altitude of 28,000 feet, they're going to engage the autopilot. As you know, they're on the ground. They're going to set it fast. 337, that's how they're going to turn. The heading they're going to take according to the flight route. Vertical speed, how they are going to ascend and descend. Altitude, when they reach 28,000 feet, when they engage the autopilot, how the autopilot will climb, and when it will stop climbing to the cruising altitude. They've chosen 10,000 feet. That means they'll activate it much lower than usual because they're not going more than 28,000 feet. Hold is also a part of vertical speed. You have to turn the vertical speed button on so that you can activate the vertical speed. Autopilot engage. You're going to activate the left, center and right. This is where you engage the autopilot panel. Then let's talk about the instruments that are useful in cruise. We have the altimeter here. It's going to show them the vertical speed. This is the vertical speed. It's going to show them the vertical speed in ascending or descending. The altitude, as you can see, it's 10,000 feet. When you set 10,000 feet, and then you set and when you set 10,000 feet, it'll pop out right here, and that will give instruction to the autopilot. And then we have the speed. The speed is going to be set right here. IAS mark. That's the airspeed. It's 200. Now we are done with that. We are done with the autopilot. It's going to control most of the plane in cruise. Let's see when the plane is at cruise. Now the plane is up. It's cruising. As the plane is cruising, the autopilot is functioning. You can see the green lights. The autopilot is functioning. They also set the vertical speed to 2,500, and the altimeter is also increasing. This is the 18 feet above sea level, 177 miles knots. This is going to be the airspeed. This is going to be the altitude. Now the plane is ascending. We already talked about takeoff, and I'm going to fast forward to cruise. As you can see, as the plane is cruising, there are different stages when you want to turn on the autopilot. Here you must turn on the heading selector on, the vertical speed mode on, where it will automatically, after some time, turn to hold. The altimeter is also increasing in speed. The altimeter is also increasing in altitude. Now, as most of you may not know what the autopilot is like a computer inside the airplane which flies the plane automatically according to the pilot's instructions. So when you just have to instruct the autopilot. If you instruct it wrongly, it just do the wrong thing and may end up in a serious crash. You can watch one of the documentaries when the autopilot caused a crash because of pilot error and autopilot error. The plane is now almost at the cruising altitude. You can see that the speed is increasing. It's an AS747. The vertical speed is also working. The heading is also working, and they need to move according to the flight route. For today, we'll be doing the manual landing. And as known, it's the famous ILS approach. Now, what's the meaning of the term ILS? In full, it means Instrument Landing System. According to the 747, you need to activate the instrument landing system before you can even use it. So you go to the FMC, also known as the box. It's a type of planning computer there. So you'll press at root and you'll find this type of screen here. Let's look at the different ILS runways that is going to choose. So after you set the airport codes, that's going to give the FMC instructions to give the flight navigation system and show a pink line which is going to show them the flight route. Then the pilot is going to click on departure and arrival, which will give them this screen, departure arrival index, departure airport code VHHH, arrival in Manila RPLL. The plane needs fuel to actually take off or land and keep it in the air. And as you can see, the fuel system here is going to show them the first engine, second engine, third engine, and fourth engine, and it's going to show them the cross feed valves. This is the quantity of the engines there. As you can see, it's all right. Now the pilot is going to monitor the fuel and then click on execute. That will execute the flight plan. And the autopilot is still on, so it will copy that instruction and execute the landing. Now after that, they're going to have to look at the altimeter here. It's going to show them if this is the altimeter. It's going to show them if they are aligned at the center line of runway 24. This is their glide slope. If the red diamond goes up, it means you are too high to even land the plane. Your glide slope is too high. Glide slope, how they're going to glide and enter and land at the runway. If it's up, it means you're too low. If it's down, it means you're too high. And the speed is decreasing. They're going to disengage the autopilot called the auto throttle. They're going to disconnect the autopilot. I think he's doing an auto land. They're going to disconnect the auto throttle. And then that means he has manual control of the plane. You can see the readings here. There's ILS runway 24. The flight route is the one that took them there. Now this is the trim. There is nose up and nose down. Nose up and nose down. Nose up, if you trim up, it will put the nose up using the stabilizers, using the elevators. It's going to stable the stabilizers and put the nose up. Nose down, it will simply put the nose down. As you can see, there is the autopilot disengage button. Now when the pilot presses that, it's going to disengage the autopilot. As we talked about it earlier, there's the FMC, and there's a certain flight plan that they are going to follow, which will take them exactly to the runway. Now it's like they're using a runway 24, as we talked about in my other background photo. Now thank you for watching this video. I used Microsoft Flight Simulator as my background. Thank you for understanding me as I pointed out the autopilot disengage trim and the trim altimeters here. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for any notifications if any new video just popped in. See you soon in the next video.